What's good, Relocation Football League fans? It's your boy Smitty, joined here along with the full cast of co-commissioner Rob Roby, aka Mix, and head coach, and also big-time assistant here in the RFL, and head coach again of the Mexico City Diablos, Stephen Forbes. What's going on, you guys? How you guys enjoying this season so far?
Going good.
It's been wild, man. Madden's around the corner. RFL festivities in itself about to start picking up steam. So a lot going on. Of course, getting that great news of Madden dropping a little bit earlier. So RFL coaches, I'm pretty sure at this point, is going to try to check and see what's going on, as well as us to see what season 10 brings. But right now, we are in CS8, and the first week of the season is in the books. All I gotta say was what you see here in the title of the thumbnail, and that is opening week of blowouts. That's all we really got to see for the most part. A lot of FCS games and things like that, but we also seen some shocking blowouts from some notable teams that we thought would be competitive, and it just simply was not the case. So what we're going to do, as usual, we're going to go through the games, recap, and go through each one that was premiered or shown live on the RFL channel. Then after that, we're going ahead and get a look at the new top 25 power rankings. Then after that, diving into the schedule, making our predictions on who we think is going to come out on top of the week 2 matchups. So with that being said, let's hop into the first live game that we had, and that was the first big shocking blowout that we got to kick us off, which kind of led us to what was to come, and that was LSU dominating Miami 41-13. This was not expected. Miami looked great in their opening game in week 0 against Notre Dame, and to come out and get this type of beatdown from an LSU squad who we saw their rating on defense was a 99. But boy, did they play like it, and they look mighty scaries. Scaries. I'm going to put an S on the end of that. What do you guys think about LSU and their dominance in that opener of week 1?
Am I still going first? Is this how we're doing
However you want to do, bro. All good.
All right, let's set the tone now in terms of who we get. Forbes, you go first, and Rob, you go ahead and close us off. That's how we do.
All right. Well, I think this really went back to what I said last week. Dante Taylor did not have the same performance he had in week 1, or I guess week 0. This is week 1. Went on there, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, played okay. But if you look at Matty King, 12 rushes for 31 yards. Miami could not run the ball, and that's what they've been known for in the college series, right? They had Amir Williams, they had Darnell Hodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Darnell Hodge, 2 back-to-back top 5 running backs of all time in the college series, and that was their bread and butter. Now they're relying on the quarterback, and the run game's not going, and you can see in the score, only 13 points. Miami wants to keep winning and do what they did week 1. They need Matty King to figure it out, and that's going to be up to CP and Lito and the boys to figure it out.
Yeah, just to harp on figuring it out, man. This is a terrible blunder here. Was able to speak with Coach Chris and the VC after the game, and they're content. They think they know what happened. There was some kind of mistake or whatever issue, but to lose.
We had a little cutout mix.
Very for Miami, and I think that they definitely have to correct this and get this figured out because while we can say oh well it's just a game, right? I mean that's a big game against a team that's looking to contend, and so we got to give them some grace right now, but hopefully this has not become the standard for them this season.
Yeah, and of course you're facing against another top 10 ranked team. LSU ranked 9th coming into this matchup. Miami ranked 4th. It's always great to be in that top 4. And again, what I'm trying to do so we can get through games, I'm not trying to hype on too much extra. I kind of break it down, let you guys get through it and say the little parts at the end. But a big time win for LSU. I guess this is a question I can pose for you guys to harp on some more. So with this win, for LSU, the way they looked, even the offense looking as good at it as it did. Do you guys really see LSU possibly being some big contenders to compete for a national championship this year.
I mean, for sure. I can definitely see them being in contention for the conference. Between from what we've seen with every team between them and Alabama, I think would be my 1 and 2 right now. We haven't seen a lot from Texas yet. So, but I have one of them top two. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were in a wild card and making a deep run.
Yeah, I don't like to speak too early on teams who are contending and stuff, man. I like to talk about week 4, week 3, week 4. So I'm going to decline that one right there, man. I don't know. Was this CP and Lito's fault, or is LSU the real deal? We don't know yet. So
Yeah. So what we're going to do also, we'll hold off some of those questions, of course, towards the end. But week 1 right there, big shocker. LSU getting it done, 1-0. Miami drops to 500, 1-1. Moving on to the second premier game, Rob was in the booth again calling this one, and he seemed to get a real kick out of DJ Irving. He was having himself a game. He spoke highly of him throughout the game, and of course he played at a high level with those 4 touchdowns. Nearly, I'll still say nearly 500 yards passing, close to 470, and a big beatdown over Virginia Tech in their home field, 54-27. Takeaways from this game.
The first thing I gotta say is that Virginia Tech was talking a lot of smack in the Discord before this game, and they got humbled real quick. Tony Oliveira's got to figure it out. I mean, he had a good game. It's not his fault they let up 54 points, but he's the leader of that team. He's the quarterback. Gotta go talk to some guys and see what they got to do. But just a great dominating game from the Ole Miss offense, and that's really all there was. DJ Irving went out there, did his thing, went home. Took care of business.
Yeah, Tony Oliveira looked, pretty good to start this game. Yeah, he had a pretty good game, I would have to say. I think that the issue with this team was the fact that they made Oliveira one-dimensional because they kind of were able to take away Malik Carter the third, which I thought that he looked pretty good at first. He had some pretty good gains, but it's like the line. They just kind of a little bit of not blocking as much. And then as, Ole Miss started to actually, really, really dig deep and put up points, right, and finish drives, it really became apparent that MC3 was not going to be the guy they were going to lean on. So they just tried to pass their way out of that thing. And so, when you get down in these kinds of games, and we saw a little bit of this conversation in the Discord, when you get down in games, the game is trying to come back. And so if the game is trying to come back, it's not going to, try to run when it doesn't have enough time to come back, right? So they just kind of got caught in that, catch-up game there. Folk absolutely destroyed them every time I looked up. But I do want to say that I watched most of the games. I didn't watch 2 or 3 games. I would have to say that Irving's performance is probably in the top 3 QBs performances that I saw this week. If we're just talking about composure as a quarterback, right? He looked darn good on the field. I don't. Is this guy draftable, Smitty? Is he a? Is he a?
Draftable,
Yeah.
of course, but it depends.
Yeah.
How the season goes. Even if he has a great season, I could opt to keep him for next year, just so we can have another year under his belt, so we can pick up the next class, or really, it depends on what's coming into the draft from the community, and of course, how many holes are available, how many good quarterbacks are actually coming up, and if he looks like he could be a guy that can go somewhere, or at least make the draft a little bit better in a sense, then I can pull him out early. Who knows, even after this season. If not, then hey, let's stay another year and see what happens. But
he looked awesome, man. If you just watch him adjusting, the audibles and stuff like that, he really surged against this Virginia Tech team. So we'll see if he can keep that up.
Yeah, again, apologies guys for the PC
Back
stuff.
off of Rob there though. Look at these 2 receivers we have, Folk and Bridges, both over 100 yards, both 2 touchdowns. I feel like we were seeing that in every game this week and last week. Receivers are going off like crazy. I think we're going to have an insane race for wide receiver of the year this year.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a wild one for sure. We're going to go ahead and dive into the third live game, which is coined game of the season so far. And I didn't expect it to be that. I mean, NC State versus Tennessee. Tennessee, of course, we know about what happened last year. Big time explosive offense. Defense wasn't that good. That kind of showed a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot of it here in this game as well. But we also saw that the offense of Tennessee was still very much explosive. They had a second receiver that was along with Keyshawn Covington when he was here in his freshman year last season, and Zaire Smith, and he went off 2 touchdowns, over 130 plus yards. Danny Johnson, able to lead the Vols out of double overtime over the Wolfpack as they were able to defeat NC State 49-47. Very electric game. Thoughts on this one?
Man, this feels like a college football game. You got both quarterbacks throwing for over 400 yards, one with over 500, both throwing for 4 touchdowns. But again, receivers going for over 100 yards with multiple touchdowns. High scoring, electric offense is college football. And, you just love to see that, especially early in the season. Again, it's week 1, so I love to see all the offensive capabilities from both these teams. I want to see if they can keep doing it throughout the year, though.
Yeah, man, I was excited about the game. I was really excited about Pecan. Called an excellent game, and it just be like that sometime, man. It's his first game. It's almost like the kid who goes fishing. He got the Snoopy ride, and he's out there for the first time, and he catches a big fish. Right? It was bound to happen, man. And he did such a great job calling this game. It's kind of funny, right? Because remember he wanted to call the game I called.
Yeah.
And by far this was a better game than I called, right? So yeah, man. No, but it was a great game. Tennessee getting it done. Boy, it was the back and forth was just absolutely nuts, though, man. And it was all I can say is that there was a lot of offense, not a whole lot of defense, but that's just college football for you, But I really, really enjoyed this game. I enjoyed, just seeing it play out, seeing it unfold, the big plays, the stops, takeovers, turnovers, all that stuff, man. So it was a great day. It was a great night for the RFL as well, man. And yeah, that's all I had to say about that one.
One thing I got to say about this game, man, Barkaka peace.
Oh, yeah, Barkaka. Did you changed it?
Nah, it's Baraka peace.
Barkaka. It's Baraka, yeah. Barkaka is crazy.
Barkaka, I don't know where he got that from, but I mean,
it
was funny, man. Definitely a memorable moment for a first commentated game for Pecan. Can't wait to hear more from him on Tuesdays. Staff starting to fill out, man, with the commentary, man. I just cannot wait. I think this is great.
So it was reminiscent of my first game when I said, quote unquote, "Welcome to the SFL."
Yeah.
that
was crazy.
That was a good one, right?
Everyone's got a moment. It was a great game. First games, man. Look, I can't even say the first moments for me. All I gotta say is just don't watch the first season of the RFL me calling games because there was no filter. So I mean, first games are usually crazy.
One of the members, I think it was the Gunners coach, he said, "Oh, he's fired." Like somebody.
I think it was Darrell came out there.
Yeah.
But
no, he's fired, man.
Big win for Tennessee, man, to open the season. But it kind of, in my opinion, kind of had some questions looming. If either is NC State this good, or is Tennessee kind of like they were last year, very big offensive threat, but the defense just giving up everything. We're going to find out, of course, as the season goes on. But this was a big pickup win for Tennessee. Definitely did not want to start out with an L against a lower ranked opponent who you should beat. And I mean, shout out to NC State, because now, I mean, even with a game like that against a solid team like Tennessee, ACC, we've been talking about a lot of different teams possibly throwing their hat into the ACC championship game. We just saw Miami lose. Who knows what can happen in that conference. But big dub right there for the Vols. Moving on to the premier games, Ohio State having their first game against Akron, and there was absolutely no points put up on the board, for Akron as they lost to Dylan Lewis, Coach Pecan and the guys, 47-0. Not really too much, I guess we can go into this game, but was there any performances out of this matchup that you saw that were executed to perfection, or that you just want to point out?
I mean, you got to start with quarterback one here, Dylan Lewis. I think he went 40 of 44 on the day, 400 yards. I think 2 touchdowns in the air and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Doing everything you're supposed to do against a team like Akron. But like you said, there's not much to say. I think everyone expected this outcome.
Yeah, there was no delay at all. No Ohio State's game. I got notes on this. Lewis, they just got it done, man. Did a very good job. That O line played very, very well. What's up? What's up?
Yeah,
You say?
sometimes the skip happens, so I try to cut in so that way just
Oh, the skip.
restart. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. No, I would just Dylan Lewis looked very good, a very mature quarterback that fits the system. So it's clear that he's carried over everything from last year. Still doing the same thing. Very high tempo offense. Love the O line. The defense, man, Ohio State, man, just the pressure they were able to get around the Akron's quarterback. They did a really, really great job. I also noticed that, what I'm noticing this is that momentum is so huge this year with all the games. And so they got the momentum and never looked back whatsoever. Akron just did not stand a chance, man. Just a dominant performance, and just highlighted the fact that Ohio State is still playing, at a national contender level.
Big time win there. Of course, at 4 p.m. Eastern, we had 2 other games. Illinois, they're ranked in the top 10 coming into week 1. They're ranked 6th. They played at FCS school, put up 59 points to 3. Guys to talk about, Vince Hammer, before coming into the season, we saw his rating. They ended up getting a user wide receiver. Anything to talk about out of Illinois' performance dominating in FCS? Well, not FCS. This is actually wrong. That's supposed to be Western Michigan. So that's actually a little bit more impressive. I don't know why I got FCS on there. I tried to fix the score, ended up putting the wrong team on the game though. But that was actually Western Michigan who got beat by that score, 59-3.
Just another game, just like the one above. This is what you expect a team ranked in the top 10 when you play a team that's a sub like 65 overall. This is what you expect. I want to keep seeing more for Illinois. I saw that Josh Prince had an amazing game. I see him keep him up. I know he's been here for a while. That was nice to see. And Vince Hammer had a good game. But there's not much to say until they start playing actual competition.
Yeah, this is one of the 3 games I did not check out, Smitty. So I don't have any comment on this, man. Great score, great win for Illinois.
Oh, good. Moving on to the last premier game that we had. We had Florida. Of course, news. We had to let go of the coach. Had to stream this game live, and Florida still, man, we had a little bit of issues in the depth chart. I don't know if Granger at the time just was testing things out with the depth chart, because we had some starting guys that just was not starting on the depth chart. But we did manage to fix that a little bit within the game. It kind of looked scary a little bit for Florida against the FCS. Again, you could kind of throw a little bit of that being with the depth chart just being off. But once it got fixed, Florida seemed to really catch their stride, get in the rhythm, and dominate. And speaking of dominate, Manny Rojas breaking an all-time record, 8 sacks in 1 game. And of course, this is FCS. I'm not even sure if we should count FCS for records, but I mean, I guess, yeah, put them in the record books. But really, if somebody can do this against FBS talent, that's where you look at that a little bit more than this. But I mean, 8 sacks in 1 game is still ridiculous. As they defeat FCS 56-0.
Again, they're playing at FCS school. There's not much to say to here.
Any
If
concerns
you wanna,
maybe you saw within this game?
I mean, maybe the offense looking a little shaky to begin with, but again, they're playing at FCS, so it's hard to really evaluate what they got going on until they play an actual team. Like you said, even you just said, guy got 8 sacks, but you're not sure if you want to count it. So it's hard to really tell where they're at when you're playing at FCS school, which I think in this college football they're all in the 50s, right?
Yeah, I think they're all like 50 overall.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just hard to really
Well,
gauge anyone when they play in FCS school.
I'm just gonna I'm just gonna call it like it is, man. Hopefully the stats count, man. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what I
they're
mean?
gonna
But
count.
Rojas, 20 tackles, 14 TFLs, 8 sacks.
Crazy.
Salute to
Gotta
KC Robinson,
gotta cut out.
man. 385 yards, 5 touchdowns, two and so KC Robinson, 385 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did have 2 snatches, but it did not matter at all. Listen, they had 51 TFLs and 18 sacks against this team.
Crazy.
Are these? I hope these stats are right, man, because I've got some other stats in these games. I went through with a fine tooth comb today. Spent all my day, but KC did a very good job of spreading the offense around. Zach Tank had 160 yards rushing, both combined 200 yards with the KC. And Smitty, Smitty, do you like pancakes?
In the morning.
Do you like pancakes in the morning? Yeah. Well, these boys had pancakes in the afternoon, man. A buffet, 61 pancakes. You know, 61 total pancakes. So, big salute to Florida. Look, they on the field. It's in the game. It's in the game. You can't take the wins and losses away. It's on the schedule, right? So, they got it done, man. They feasted. Very good job to Florida. That's all I have for that.
All right, we move into the 6 p.m. games, and we had West Virginia versus Virginia, and the Mountaineers came out on top of this rivalry matchup with a big win, 52-17. Could this spark a little bit of something of West Virginia being something like they were in the past of the college series? Of course, we don't know, but here goes the FBS versus FBS matchup and a dominant performance. Of course, talk about, again, the title of this episode being blowouts, and this was one of them. Thoughts on West Virginia's performance or any players in this victory?
I was shocked. I picked West Virginia to win. I didn't think they were going to win by 35. Um, again, it's still week one. We're still filling out teams, still seeing where they rank amongst their peers and everything. But West Virginia is definitely going to try and make some noise in their conference. I think outside of they're with Illinois, right? That's their conference. I always
They're
get
in
the
the
college
Big 12. Illinois, I think they're. I don't know. I don't think
10.
they're in the Big 12. They're in the Big 10, I believe. Yeah.
I always get those two conferences confused in college. But yeah, I think West Virginia is really going to try and make a move for their conference this year. Um, and we were just talking about the ACC. I think the ACC is really top heavy. To be honest with you, I think we have a couple teams at the top and then a lot of stragglers. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this game. It's just I'm waiting to get more into the season so we don't see more competitiveness. A lot of lopsided victories so far.
Yeah. So this QB's name is Miles Westerman, and he spread the ball out very good, and rightfully so. It was the Duke's Mayo Classic. You got to spread the mayo, right? So look, man, he took advantage of Virginia so badly here. The scrambles, just like the soft zones that they were running, abused those. He had 13 carries, 56 yards on the ground as well. And basically, they pretty much defensively they silenced the Cavaliers, held them to 50 yards or so of rushing. Also, I think that what the biggest thing here is that what I was talking about before about the momentum, right? They set the momentum early. They never trailed in this ball game, right? And they just continued to just mash the gas, and so they ended up playing very, very well. The offensive line of the Cavaliers looking terrible. They were basically surrendering the quarterback here. Again, 30 tackles, 11 sacks, 2
Real fast.
INTs at the hands of the West. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you can go back a little bit on what you were saying.
So the Cavaliers' offensive line overwhelmed, surrounded by sacks, obviously, hurried throws, 30 TFLs, 11 sacks, and 2 INTs at the hands of the West Virginia defense, man. So abused in this game here. And the last thing here is that I'm worried about Virginia because they basically, in the red zone, they could do nothing basically. And so this is going to be they're in trouble. They're in a lot of trouble right now. West Virginia definitely did a great job here.
coverage there. We're going to go into the next game and another FBS versus FBS, no FCS around. Vanderbilt versus Stanford. And Stanford able to get the 10-point victory, one of our closer games that we had throughout this week, as they were able to take down Vanderbilt 27-17. Takeaways from any players or this game in general?
I did not see this game, so just like you can.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway from this is I feel like Stanford's defense won the game more so than their offense did. Their D line, especially the Stanford's defensive line, making timely plays, timely stops, getting to the quarterback when they need to. Not a lot of exciting plays this game. It just felt like Stanford was the better team from start to finish.
Yeah, not too much to say here. Quarterback having a little silent day. The running back, he didn't really do all too much. He was able to find the end zone and things like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, Stanford, like you said, not really too much to say. Was the better team, and yeah, they got the best of Vanderbilt in this one. And you know, Vanderbilt, who knows? Maybe later on in the season they get to play spoiler like they did last year when they ruined, Tennessee from making the playoffs. But you never know what you're going to get, of course, as the season goes on. But a big victory there for Stanford. Moving on, we had Colorado versus North Texas. Now, a lot of people already were scratching their heads due to the fact that North Texas was even ranked, and Colorado, of course, wasn't. And they showed you why that was a big mistake, as they were able to beat them by 33-3. Takeaways from this.
I think they just went out and proved why North Texas never should have been ranked in the first place. They went out there. They're obviously the better team. They showed they're the better team. Spanked them by 30. I'm still feel the same way that since they're not playing real competition yet, it's hard for me to give real value into what they're doing. I just think North Texas was overrated to begin the season.
Yeah, Smitty, this is the last one that I didn't see. So
Yeah, some games you don't have to dive too much into, and this is just one of those. Good job to Colorado getting it done at home, proving that North Texas did not deserve to be ranked in the top 25 and in the ring. It's a big feat. We had a Big 12 matchup though here, rivalry between Texas Tech and TCU. TCU come out on top. This was a team that did pretty well last year, and they start out 1-0 as they take down the Red Raiders 42-29.
I didn't get to this game.
Oh, okay.
yeah, this was a very heavy defensive game, and it really got serious in the trenches as the game wore on. At first, it kind of was like real slow. I really loved the fact that TCU's defense pretty much kind of kept this game at bay in a sense. Texas Tech did not look bad at all. The score, it seems, lopsided a bit, but it really was a much closer game. Obviously, the TFLs, 31 of those, 16 sacks, 2 picks, a forced fumble for TCU, had the edge, gave them the edge there. And then again, it's just it comes down mostly in this game. There was a drive that where Texas Tech was, I think they had 27 points because at first they were down by like 7 or 8 points in the third or the early fourth, I want to say. And then they ended up, missing drive. Went up 2 scores. They had a chance to come back at the end of the game within like 3 or 2 minutes or whatever. And the quarterback throws a pass into the end zone. And it's a snatchy, right? Get out of here. So they ended up getting a safety to make it 29 in that game. But it was a good game. It was a very good game, and for a minute, I actually thought that Texas Tech was going to come back from that one. But obviously, the snatchy in the end zone, bad.
Yeah, I had a feeling about Texas Tech coming into this matchup. Honestly, did not look too good at all in their opening game in Week 0 against Fresno State, and that was one of the big reasons why. Of course, I mean TCU would have been most likely the favorites anyway in this matchup, but that game made it more so where it's like, hey, TCU should run away with this one. Again, watching the game, a little bit closer than what it seems on the scoreboard, but at the end of the day, Horned Frogs coming out on top as they should with this solid victory over the rivals. Then we had Coach Rodney in his first game going up against the Terrapins, and it was terrible as 34-10 was the final score. In this one, I predicted Rodney to win this because Because Maryland, just looking at Maryland, they're a 75 overall rated team, but this kind of shows why you don't really want to go off the overall, right? Baylor's got a better overall than Maryland, but the difference that really came from this, if you really look at those individual players of Maryland, they're actually
Yeah.
pretty good, and they were able to dominate and make Coach Goins look pretty bad in his first showing. But of course, more season to go. What you guys takeaways from this tough loss for the Baylor Bears?
Rodney's got to figure it out. Losing is one thing. Losing by 24 to a team that you're better than is another, especially in your first ever game as a coach. You're supposed to go out there, show that you know what you're doing, show that you can get it done. That's what these first couple weeks are usually for. In college football, is find opponents that you think are worse than you, schedule them, get some tune-up games in. Instead, he goes out there and gets his butt kicked. So now he gets made fun of in the pros for wearing number 40. Now he's going to get made fun of in the college series for losing by 24 in week 1. But Marin looked real good. I just think Rodney has a lot to figure out.
Yeah, I'm going light, man. It's these guys' first week, so I'm not going to be hard on them, man. But I know how they are with me in the RFL, boy. I lose, boy. It's all the little smart comments and everything. Cougars, this, that. So, I got respect for Baylor, but it looked bad. 34-10. First of all, it was a 34-10 run. Baylor was up 10-0 in that game, and then it just got crazy. Missed field goals and turnovers, all that type of stuff, man. Let's see. What do I have here? Shell shocked. That's what I called it. Shell shocked, man. They totally reversed that energy in the first half, man. It was 10-0. I was like, oh boy, it's about to get crazy, right? And then nope. So they did a great job. Obviously, the turnovers and sacks plagued them very much. The rushing game for Maryland looked pretty good as well. Impressive offensive line it looked against Baylor. And again, two missed field goals by Baylor, a 4th down fumble. Just missed opportunities for the Baylor Bears. And so, he's got to find a way to turn this around and, get them out of the past, so
good thing.
We'll see how that goes.
Players to point out here for Baylor, and another specific point on a player for, I think Baylor I said, but Maryland I meant. The running back that you talk about, I think his name's Lacombo. Over 100 yards, had a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was doing great every time he got the ball. But the quarterback too, Cal Katera, I think he's a highly rated quarterback within the college series. So that's another guy, from a small school to possibly look out, see what he does throughout the year. We'll see. The offense does look explosive with the pieces that it has, and this is a pretty good, shocking win, for the Terrapins. But at the same time, for Baylor, one of the key things I noticed that kind of really hurt them, and I'm going to just say this in general for most teams in the entire college series, is if your quarterback is not solid, not a high-rated guy, and you're a user too, you might want to start using those reloads on your college guy to get him right, because you're not going to be able to really put your name out there with that player if he's not improving and he's staying at that low level. We already know that Terrence Ferreri transferred from Kentucky to go here to play for Coach Goins. And to be honest, he just had a bad showing. And hopefully this is not nothing, to come in the future. But he did have these moments also at Kentucky at times. Still played pretty solid, which is why, Coach Goins and guys were high on him. But not a good showing in game 1. Would like to see him improve moving forward. So we'll see what he opts to do in terms of, improving his player moving forward. The next game we had FCS versus USC. Nothing too much to say here. We got to see the true freshman Baylor Kennedy play in his first game. He went off, was running for a touchdown, threw for, I believe, 5 touchdowns, and he was just killing it for FCS, as they should. But what I really liked seeing in this game was, of course, Kennedy doing his thing, but those receivers look nasty too for USC. Mm-hmm. What you guys take away from USC's performance in their debut?
Again, they're playing an FCS team. But if they can replicate this performance against actual competition, whether it be a team like Toledo or Temple, like an actual FBS school, I think there's going to be a lot to say about Baylor Kennedy and his receivers in terms of prospects. Maybe not in this class, but the next. If they can continue to do this all year, I have high hopes for them.
A big salute to Coach Severio getting it done here. Smitty, do you know what a grouper looks like?
I know it's a fish, but was that the FCS team they were playing?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
groupers. They're
yeah.
absolutely ugly, big and ugly. They're actually, in my opinion, they're cousins to the catfish, and I would throw them away. But some people eat them. They stew them, they broil them, they pan fry them, they bake them, they grill them. That's pretty much what Coach Silverio did, and the Trojan Army did with these groupers. Man, they absolutely filleted these boys up, fried them up. Man, did a great job. So they had a fish fry. Shout out to Baylor Kennedy, man, put on a show. He definitely was passing at all levels. Rohan Boxy, I don't know if we mentioned him.
Shout out to
12
Rohan,
carries,
yeah.
100 plus yards, 3 tutties, man. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. Oh, wow. I didn't see this. Dom Hare. Wait, did Dom Hare play for? Yeah, Dom Hare plays for the USC as well.
Dom Hare.
I think that's a halfback. Silverio, you can confirm that or not. Wait, is Rohan a wide receiver?
Yeah, he's a receiver.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah. So Dom Hare was the halfback. He had 142 on the ground. And man, the wideouts that you mentioned, Smitty, I call them the true 3-level threat, man. So because yeah, 37 total catches, 6 touchdowns for that wide receiver core, man. And these guys absolutely went crazy. Smitty, you said you like pancakes. 50 pancakes, 50, 35 TFLs. So they abused the FCS again. Let me just make sure I didn't have anything else on USC, and that's it.
Yeah, great performance again. There's a lot of teams that are competing for. We knew this college football game was going to have the receivers finally go crazy as they should, and they're going crazy. Like, I mean, they're going really crazy. I'm excited to see. Hopefully, this transfers over to Madden to see what the RFL receiver is going to be able to do with this type of talent. But and at the college level, I've been enjoying, especially as a former receiver myself, seeing guys go up, get the football, break tackles, make moves in space, accelerate. I mean, you just saw a lot of that in that game there for USC, but a lot in other games, of course, too. But big time performance. Who knows? Maybe USC could be competing for a top receiving core in the nation as well. I think they already kind of showed that, but it is again FCS. Let's see how they do against real competition. Moving on, biggest win in RFL history. It doesn't matter if it's an FCS school. 80-0 though. The Ducks dominating FCS in this one. I don't think it's really too much to say, but just pure dominance from Oregon. Any takeaways from the players that you saw really put on a show just before you get in? One guy that you just have to mention throwing 6 touchdown passes in this game was Corey Baines. And what a start for the Ducks.
Listen, Smitty, how many times on the creation stream did I say that people need to go to Oregon? Someone needs to go be a white wide receiver. Someone needs to go be that white running back. Because that team looked good.
Guy Buck.
Coming out week 1, dropping 80. So, I mean, like, there's not a lot to say. They put an FCS school, and Oregon just killed them.
Yeah, I started to write up something on this, man, but I just listed words, man. This comes from what's his name, Hodge. Curb stomped, dog walked. Then I said, well, let me try to find some other synonyms, antonyms. Humiliated. They wiped the floor with them. They thrashed them, trounced, pounced, outclassed, mincemeat, clobbered, overwhelmed. Boy, they cooked these guys, man. So, yep, there it is.
Yeah, not really too much to say, but just great performance all around from Oregon. Yeah, we'll see what they do against FCS. But I'll be honest, when you compare how they played against an FCS team to other teams that did play an FCS team, I kind of really started to look into that. I know they haven't played any FBS schools like that, but how dominant are they against, the Division II sub B level, Division I sub B level, you know what I'm saying? We've seen teams just hang up, high 40s, high 50s, some 60s, lows, but 80 points to break a scoring record. There was another team that was close to doing this as well. I think that was Offstream. But I think when you look at these FCS performances early on in the season, before you see a FBS matchup head to head, it kind of might tell a little bit on okay, it's a weaker end team, but these guys are this efficient. These guys were able to stay this consistent throughout the game, while others kind of had some moments against FCS where you're like, did you really just throw a pick against these dudes? Did you really
Yeah,
just
like I don't
fumble?
think Oregon punted all game.
Yeah. So, I mean, just
And
ridiculous.
the other thing too is that I don't even think that the Midwest got into the red zone
Crazy.
at all.
Crazy.
Yep.
So, great performance there. Interested to see what Oregon's going to do in real competition in FBS. Another FCS matchup, this time for Oklahoma State. They got that quarterback over there, Kareem Douglas. Some interest, of course, peaking at Oklahoma State because of him going that way, and then also the fact that they are ranked within the top 10 coming into this matchup. I think they were ranked 8th, and they were able to put down a beatdown on FCS as well. Didn't hang 80, but they got 64 and only gave up a field goal in their victory. Any performances you like to point out in this matchup?
I just want to highlight Kareem Douglas again. It's nice to see, like, before this season, last season, everyone was like a one and done prospect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting to see, Kareem Douglas, Taylor Kennedy, Vince Hammer, all these new names. We're gonna, because we have the Jaden Young, Dylan Lewis, Corey Baines, Colorado Rivers, those guys who are most likely to declare this year. Like getting to see a development of the quarterback class this year, this quarterback class next year, like not having to wait and see until we rebuild it, everyone submits again. Just knowing as like a coach, what I'm excited for is that like I'm not only getting to scout for this year, but the next year, the year after, that kind of stuff, and that's what. So seeing something like Kareem Douglas ball out, that's what gets me excited.
Well, I'm disappointed, Forbes, because you didn't say Jaden Young.
I
He
think that's
did.
the first name I said.
He did.
Did he say Jaden
Yeah,
Young?
he did.
You sure he said?
That's the
Yeah,
first
he
You
name I
sure?
did.
said.
Yeah, that was the first.
Yeah,
He
just
tuned
making
out on
sure,
that
making sure, man. Maybe it froze. I didn't hear him.
one.
No, great job there, Forbes. The two-headed monster in the backfield definitely was helping Douglas out. Both of them only had around 50 yards rushing, but still they did a pretty good job there. And the only thing I have here is third down conversion, man, 55% on third down. So that's hard to stop there. They were in the red zone quite a few times, had 5 touchdowns, 2 field goals out of that. And other than that, man, just pure domination by these guys. Yeah, their wide receivers went crazy.
Yeah,
I didn't write their
two
stats
guys,
down,
100
but
plus each.
Hogue, Pitts, and Lupke,
Yeah,
all of 100 plus yards. So really good day there for him.
yeah. And that was it for the 4 p.m. slot of FCS games. We got a FBS matchup right here. The Crimson Tide were able to host Arizona. Are they the Wildcats? I think they're the Wildcats. I might be mistaken. But yeah, Arizona getting beat down 51-14. This is a good showing. Arizona is not like a highly touted team within the league or within college football or anything like that. But I mean, still a dominant performance by Alabama nonetheless. We saw the running back of the year from last year, Andre Romano, go off. He had some moments where it seemed like he was getting stopped, but I'm gonna be honest, his first week running the football wasn't all too easy for everybody. But he had a day. The offense got explosive. Started out a little bit slow at first, but got it together. And of course, you expect to see those things in an opening game for a team. Any takeaways from performances from players within this game?
Jaden Young is going for back-to-back Heisman's. He went out there. I think he had 6 total touchdowns. I think 4 through the air, 2 on the ground, unless I'm mistaken. I think he wants Ella. I think he's going for back-to-back Heisman's. I think he wants to win the national championship, and I think he wants to be seen as quarterback 1 in this class. He went out there and he showed, hey, I'm just as good, if not better, than everyone else, and he kicked their butts. The only down thing I have to say, or I'll go with another high. Dior Gore out there killed it. I think he had it felt like 20 targets, 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. But on the flip side, I am gonna have to talk about Kyshawn Covington. Like we all warned
Oh
him.
man.
Ended up with four catches for 16 yards. And it's not that he's not a great receiver in himself. is that when you go to a loaded offense, sometimes there isn't enough cookies for everyone. You know, if they're going to target Dior 20 times, you're only going to get 5. You have to live with that. And now I'm sure throughout the season he's going to have his 100-yard games, his big touchdown games, whatever. But he knew going into this that Dior Gore was wide receiver 1. He's going to have to get used that this is his role. He's going to be essentially the third option. He's going to be behind Romano and behind Dior Gore. And that's going to hurt him draft-wise. Because like everyone says, it's not just about the college series. It's about getting to the pros. You know, so you might go here, have a great season, or Alabama might have a great season and, you know, win it all. And you're sitting there with 600 total yards as like the wide receiver 45 in the nation. And that's what you want. That's great. As a draft prospect, where he just went from the guy, you know, it's just a tough look.
Yeah, shout out to Dior Gore, man. Whiskey business, if you know, you know, man. He's the reason why Bama fans all over the nation can say "Roll Tide," man. Getting it done, and it was a great game. Forbes, you pretty much, you know, capped off a lot of what I was going to say. Jaden looked definitely surgical, and I know guys be hating. They saw the little 7-0 at first, so oh boy, 7-0. I mean, that's turned right around, right? So like 21-7 at the end of the half there or whatever, man, whatever it was. But yeah, man, it was a great showing. I don't care. I don't care who's scoring. Someone's scoring. I don't care, you know. So Kaishan, just shake it off. Don't worry about what these guys say. But the more you talk, the more they're going to troll you, bro. So you just got to stop talking so much, man. But you get the W, and that's all that matters. Yeah, I don't care. If the punter scores, it's roll tide all day, man. You know, so big salute to Coach DR, big salute to DCP and those boys, man. And that's all I have to say about that one.
Then we move on to one of the few close games. We had Memphis, who was ranked, I believe, 21 versus number 16 Yukon. And Memphis was able to walk out of this victorious 20-13. This wasn't too much going on in terms of explosion. Offensively, more of a defensive matchup. Memphis's defense definitely got it done from what I saw. Was interested in looking at Memphis's running back too. He's a highly rated running back coming into this matchup, 95 overall. They were able to contain him, but you know, still had a pretty okay game, enough to get in the end zone and beat beat Yukon. Are they the Huskies, like that they say, Yukon Huskies, or I think they're the Huskies, right? Yeah, okay.
Huskies, yeah.
I don't know. I was
Yeah,
like,
Huskies.
oh, is there another dog that looks like a husky? The Malamutes? Or
No, it's the Huskies.
So yeah, but yeah,
Sheesh.
UConn was a team. Most people saw them on the top 25 and were like, "What are we doing?" You know, what is that?
You should have just stopped right there. UConn was a team and just
It was a team. But it's just tough, man. It's just tough. You know, of course, those early top 25 rankings always have people going crazy on TikTok when that's posted. I can't wait till they see the week 2 joints because, you know, people always got something to say. But it's not as bad as what we saw at the start of the season. No way in any world would you see UConn 16th in the nation and just taking an L there from Memphis. Memphis, you could see being a, you know, bottom half, top 25 team. And they got it done just barely, 1-7. But yeah, 2013 final score. Any takeaways from this matchup?
I hope both of these teams are unranked after this week. I don't care that Memphis. They both should be unranked. I don't think Memphis deserved to be ranked either. They won, and they barely won, and both of these teams are just bad. And that's what I have to say.
Well, the longtime RFLer in me, anytime I see or hear Memphis, I think of Coach Justin Jones. So I was rooting for Memphis in this game, and I'm glad they pull out the win. I'm pretty sure he would have wanted this to be 40-13, but that wasn't the case. And so I'm going to have to shout out one of our long-term members, Harvey. Everyone knows Harvey. I've seen him on the channel. He said this is the most underrated game this week, and it definitely was. This was a very good back-and-forth game. So big salute to you, Harvey, for checking that out there. The only thing that I have here, man, is Dogfight, man. Very good dogfight. Lots of stretches of punts between the two teams. Like 16, 17, 18 punts. It was ridiculous. But was still a good game to watch. I enjoyed this game thoroughly. So big salute to you, Harvey. Actually, that's why I watched the full thing, because Harvey said this is an underrated game. So I said, okay, let me slow it down. So, yep.
Okay, moving on. My North Carolina Tar Heels, man. You know what I'm saying? Got the shirt on, you know what I'm saying? Had the rocket. Put a beat down on the Mississippi State Bulldogs, man. Explosion. That's all I can say. I really like this quarterback here. Hopefully the offense can, expand and whatever. They got a solid receiver and everything. But Mississippi State also just not looking all too good. I looked at their roster and I was kind of like, they kind of not all that. So, North Carolina did what they were supposed to do. And they were able to blow the doors, like Dunn says, off of Mississippi State. Final score 52-28. Takeaways from this matchup.
UNC's quarterback is definitely a gunslinger. He doesn't care how many people are covering you. If you run in deep, he's going to throw it up. You just better catch the ball. I did like watching UNC's offense. It's very RPO heavy, very play action heavy. So just seeing how that quarterback navigated that situation. But I really felt like Mississippi State lost this game. I felt like they couldn't. Mississippi State was either throwing a pick, fumbling, or scoring, and I felt like there was no in between. Just the quarterback was very erratic, not very good. I think I looked into he's like a 77 something overall.
Good.
Not very good. But I will say I was very impressed by UNC's defense. I know Mississippi State ended up scoring 28, but I think they put the backups in the late game with like the last 10 minutes or so in the fourth. But UNC's defense looked really good. I really liked their two D tackles. They got a lot of pressure on this quarterback.
Yeah, as far as playing style, this guy reminds me of Irving. His name is Jemerson Chamberlain, the quarterback, and he is an absolute monster, man. He's a dual threat QB as well. He had about 50, 60, 70 yards, something like that, on the ground. This was actually kind of a close game. It was very close at first. And then it just kind of, it's the big stops, the big takeaways. Of course, I'm biased, so I put SEC football. But no, this was a really good game here. And what else do I have here? Yeah, I just think that North Carolina, the fact that they were able to put up 52, I know it's Mississippi State, but it's good. Being in the SEC, being in the college series, you have to be able to put up points. All the good teams have put up points this week, and so this is very good for North Carolina. Very good win.
All right, moving on, we have a pretty good ranked matchup here between number 14 SMU and Oklahoma. Was ranked 15th at the time, and Oklahoma came out with a big dub. They kind of had a little bit of an upsetting season last year. They've always kind of the last couple seasons been the up and down kind of team. Like either they're going to play really good or really bad. And they were really good in this matchup against SMU, who was actually pretty decent last year too. And they hung 50 plus as well. Final score was 54-30. Running back was going off. We saw the quarterback do pretty decent as well. What's you guys' takeaways from this game?
I felt like it was pretty good offensively from both sides. I actually felt like Oklahoma's defense played pretty well too. They just ended up getting 30 scored on them throughout the game. Really liked Oklahoma's offense, the way it moved and flowed, went up and down the field, being able to go between the run and the pass. They didn't feel very. If you look at some of the other games, they're throwing 50 times and running 10. I felt this one was much more balanced. It felt like when you watch their team, and I think SMU just ran into a team that was just going to score every drive, and there was nothing they could do about it.
Yeah, I just have short notes for this. Devontae Souls is the SMU quarterback. He had a nice 60-yard pass, man, in the quarter one. They just kind of lost their composure over time. They were in scoring territories and just kept kicking field goals. Let's see. Soul had a late third quarter snatchy from Jamie Sweet from the Sooners. which spoiled that party there. Let's see. The linebacker Ryan Bryant, that he had a 1 yard. One hand INT, man. I thought that was pretty cool. Nice animation there. But it was, there was a lot of back and forth. The quarterback for the Sooners, Barkow, whatever his name was, he had a pretty good day as well. Just a lot of nice tight balls into coverage. I wanted to highlight the wide receiver, Colin Cantrell. He had 405 and 2 touchdowns there. And they also had a guard by the name of Delarulo, or actually no, George McNitt. One of them. Both of them had 10 pancakes apiece, man. So, as you know, I'm paying attention to the linemen. So yeah, it was a pretty good game, man. So, yep.
All right, and then we get to our last premier game, and this one, unfortunately, was not shown as a game. Got to play the bell out. Stream team, we thought they were recording the game, and it wasn't live the whole time. So, fortunately, the game was played out, and the stats, of course, were logged from that game, but we had nothing, unfortunately, to show for it. Once again, apologize to the Texas guys, man, who did not get to see their debut, even though they got a good solid win, 26-9 over the Arizona State Sun Devils. I will say, though, from this game, you can see the guy right now and diving for a touchdown. He went off, and that was Shady Houston. Houston had himself over 100 yards at exactly, I believe, 160. But I will say from this matchup, what was a little bit alarming again, like last year, is the pass game for Texas, though, was not too good. Less than 200 yards passing for Nyshawn Miller. I think he had 165 passing yards. And so that's a big question for the Longhorns that really kind of cost them last year. Is the pass game going to improve? Is Nyshawn going to be able to lead the offense and exceed the expectations that we're expecting to see from Texas this year that we didn't see last year? What's you guys' takeaways just from, of course, you didn't get to see the game, but you guys probably dove into the stats. What do you guys think about this victory?
I mean, that's a pretty cool picture.
Yeah, I didn't look at the stats at all for this game.
I
As I probably should have. I just said, "Oh, the game is lost."
Oh, okay. But yeah, I pretty much dove into it, man.
What did Nyshawn look like? Is the shirt thing affecting him at all, or?
I didn't get to see the game, but I'm assuming it did. To have only 165 yards passing,
Yeah,
that was tough. I know that Houston went off though, changed his number, rocking the 41. I don't know if he's trying to be like old boy from the Saints. You said what? Yeah, Alvin Kamara. But dude was probably looking like him in that game, And I think about the competition, right? This is Arizona State. They're pretty good. They're not bad, especially just within the game. They're a solid team, the mid-80s type, mid to low 80s type. But they got some playmakers. Only could put up 9 against Texas. So, I mean, Texas defense doing its thing, it seemed. But again, only 26 points. This is not what you want to see from Texas, just based off of the talent that is there. And again, when you look at that stat line, what pops off at the board is Nyshawn Miller. What is he doing? And 165 yards, that's not going to cut it. I don't know if this was a heavy run game or not, but I just can't wait to see him in actual action to see, how he's performing and maneuvering within the game. But we will find out. And so with that, we're going to go ahead and move into our final game to cover off the recap. And it was the game of the week, Clemson versus Georgia. We thought this would be on the level of that NC State versus Tennessee game. It absolutely was not. Georgia was listed as the number 1 ranked team in the country to start out the top 25 rankings. Of course, I know the Clemson Tigers felt disrespect off of that. We are the 2-time national championship winning team, and you guys put Georgia over us, and they proved they deserve to be the number 1 team in the country as they dog-walked the Bulldogs 43-14. Not to mention that the score was 40-0 going into the third, and it was so bad that Clemson said, we're not even going to start our guys in the fourth quarter. I don't think Georgia would have probably scored a single point if the starter's been out, man. So what's you guys' takeaways from this matchup and the massacre that Clemson had on those Bulldogs?
I think my biggest takeaway is that Georgia never should have been ranked number one. You don't come out here like this, get belt to you know what, and think that you deserve to be number one. But yeah, Clemson, just like what you had at the very start, they're just showing you why, until proven otherwise, they should be the favorite to be a 3-time national championship. I think everyone expected the offense to do what the offense does. I was very impressed by Clemson's defense. All those sacks, getting 4 interceptions off of, it's Jonathan Wilson, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting 4 interceptions off him. I think he also, did he throw 2 in the fourth against the backups, or were the defensive starters still in?
He threw it. The defensive starter was in up to his third. He threw his fourth against the backups. It was awesome. Yeah.
So just Georgia's got some soul searching to do after getting dog walked like this in week 1. And Bo Sanders had 2 touchdowns but only 55 yards. Obviously Georgia, or not Georgia, but Clemson can keep up this offensive firepower. But if they do really want to win 3 in a row, some people say he's the number 1 player in the nation. He's got to play like it if they really want a chance to do that.
Did it freeze?
It froze.
Good
But it came back and let him. It spoke out what he said, so that's good.
Yeah. This is just unfortunate, man. We saw this last year. Jonathan Wilson, having to carry the team, and if he has a bad game, and the team loses, just point blank. So the four INTs were one thing, but this game was well lost. Without the 4 interceptions, man, they just could not get separation. They could not stop this team. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I quoted this, like that number from Bo Sanders, man. I mean, this guy was just jogging. Like it like it wasn't even like they didn't even need him in this game, and so this is unfortunate for Georgia. I'm not sure what they need to do, and I'm not going to say their season is over. They played the number 1 school, probably the best school in the league right now, so I'm not saying it's over yet. I want to see what Jonathan Wilson can do because he did pretty good last year, with just him. So, but he didn't face Clemson, you see. So we'll see how he does for the rest of the season. But it is a cause of concern. I'm just going to talk overall wise. We need CC, we need Perk. We need those guys to start to recruit for Georgia and get them some guys. I don't know what's going on in that with that locker room, but it used to be very vibrant with guys, man. And now it's just kind of like, meh. Maybe next year we'll recruit. So we got to restore the G, man. That's all I got to say here.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy because they would have had some guys, until one guy transferred out and decided to stay in the state, but go play for the Bees instead of the Dogs. And
that's a pretty bad mutiny, man. I don't know exactly what happened, what transpired with that, man, but it just seems like a really bad mutiny. And I don't know why that occurred, what happened, but it needs to be fixed, man. Because we all want to see the Bulldogs competitive and not losing this bad.
Yeah, when I look at this game, this matchup, I think what needs to be talked about even more is the fact of how explosive this offense was. I talked about how a team can have a top receiving core in the nation. We, off of last year, we're automatically going to say Alabama. But after what I saw in this matchup, how locked in Colorado Rivers was, it's safe to say it might be 1A, pick your choice between Clemson and Bama. Who's got the better receivers in terms of the core and the way that they're able to operate. The way that Rivers was just reading this defense. I remember his first game last year against LSU. This guy threw 6 picks. After that, I think he only threw like a handful, 6 total after that. And that was in 11 games. And then they just went on a run, never lost a game since. So when you look at this matchup, right, and you see Clemson do what they did. I think this year, overalls, you don't want to look at it, but if you see a team with a 99 in a category, offense or defense, expect that offense or defense to be that good, because we saw it from LSU defensively, and we just saw it from Clemson offensively. And this game could have been way worse, way worse. I think Clemson could have FCS these guys. They pretty much did, 60 plus points to nothing had they kept their starters in. Bo Sanders, he may not have, had the flashy numbers as we're accustomed to seeing, but I think you have to give the credit to the talent to the level of Georgia. They were a really good run defense. So I think that's what the defense did well. But the offense just could not carry them, and that struggled last year for the Bulldogs. So it's a lot to say about this game, but Clemson definitely proven they're the number one team in the country, man.
The I want to ask a question, man. It might be too early, but if for some reason, I'm gonna make sure this thing doesn't freeze.
It's kind of break, yeah, wait a little bit.
Yeah, is it good now?
Still cutting up.
Is it cutting up?
Yeah. Okay.
Is that my connection?
I think you're
Is
back
that my
now.
connection?
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So look, man. If Colorado wins another championship, right?
You mean Clemson?
Yeah, Clemson. Well, no, I'm saying Colorado, the Rivers,
Oh,
right?
Colorado.
If they get another if they get another championship, bro, another natty, right? Does this qualify Colorado for probably the QB1?
I don't know, man. That's up for y'all to debate, talk about, to see. Man, what do you guys think? What do your guys thoughts on that?
Look, man, this team looked freakish scary. Like that was light work. When you sub the subs out, that's light work. Oh no, guys. And look, Colorado, he DM'd me his stats, man. He flooded me those points. I'm just sitting here like, if they win another natty, and then Smitty, look, man. if they wait, this would be Colorado's third championship or second?
His second.
His second. Yeah.
He went to three straight. He went to the first one.
What's three straight? His second.
He lost the first one. He was the quarterback of the other team.
He has big numbers, right? He's in that discussion, man. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to play out, man. But he looks pretty good, man. So
I think it becomes a Daryl Johnson, Kai Cash conversation, where Kai Cash was on that undefeated Georgia team. He was the quarterback that got them there, led it all. But Daryl Johnson was just Daryl Johnson. So it depends on how you view Dylan Lewis as a quarterback prospect, and then compare it to Colorado Rivers' team success.
Yeah.
For Dylan Lewis,
I see what. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's no. I mean, I do think that Dylan Lewis is QB1, in my opinion, right? I think that the other quarterbacks are really, really good, depending on what you're trying to go with. But in my eyes, it is Dylan Lewis at the moment, as Q rightfully said, at the moment, right? But this season, man, is going to really tell us a lot that we need to know about these QBs. But also, man, I'm going to be honest with you, with Irving and what's his name, Jamerson, these other guys, man, like, boy, So yeah, I'm excited about this season.
Yeah, it's definitely been a great week one, and there goes the recap for you guys. Pretty much an hour and 10 minutes long, but I think we really did a good job diving into this, kind of getting through that quickly as we could, and the information we would provide. Mick's doing a great job. I think this is a good way to talk about it. Like, I like how Forbes, he doesn't necessarily go into the statistics of things, but just the overall view of, what to look for and take away from the game. And then you diving into, specifics on those players and those things. And so, like, I think that did a good job of, and we need that, right? We need it because it starts to open eyes for those prospects now that everyone in the college series is now draftable. And so, I think, we keep going with this method, man, and it's just going to be great things to look out for, and guys will start to open their eyes more for what's out there. But that's it for the recap. Now it's time to show you guys the top 25 rankings after week one heading into week two of the college series. So here we go. At number 1, of course, as we expected, Clemson, staying as the top team. Number 2 is Alabama. 3, LSU jumping all the way up from number 9. Ohio State moves up the spot to number 4. Illinois is a spot to 5. Same with Oregon at 6. Oklahoma State at 7. Ole Miss to 8 from 13. And Miami, who was at number 4, dropping 5 spots down to number 9. So still in the top 10. Nebraska moving up a slot from number 11 to number 10. Georgia going from the number 1 team down 10 spots to number 11. Only team that did not shift in terms of their rankings from the top 25 was TCU at 12. Then we had Oklahoma at 13 moving up, as well as Tennessee at 14 from 19. Memphis, after their victory over Yukon, went from 21 to 15. Virginia Tech dropped down after their loss from number 10, 6 spots to 16. Penn State was at 24, jumped up to 17. Yukon, I still can't believe these guys are ranked, but they're here at 18. SMU fell down after a tough loss to Oklahoma, as we went over it, to 19. Florida just now jumping on the top 25 after an FCS matchup, which is kind of like how, but I mean, they got there. And Notre Dame dropping down. I think they were 17th. And they dropped down to 21, down 4 spots. Even UTSA getting in on the action here, guys. They weren't even in the top 25. They jump up to 22. We had Indiana in the same boat. They were actually pretty decent last year. They come up now into the top 25 at 23. Same with Louisville. And then Texas Tech hanging on by a thread at 25 after their loss when they were ranked 23rd before they played TCU. Thoughts on this top 25 ranking? What team shocked you that's probably still in the top 25, or what team not in the top 25 do you feel should have probably been in after this week, or at least will be very soon?
I'm just still stuck on the fact that they left Yukon in the top 25.
Yeah.
They just left them in there. They're sitting right in the middle. They even bumped Memphis up for whatever reason. I'm glad North Texas is out. We didn't get to see UTSA, Indiana, or Louisville play, so I don't have much comment on them. I do like the top. I'll go 8-ish. I do like that. I think Illinois still needs to prove some more. I think they're a little bit too high. I think Georgia should be lower. I know they were at 1, but I don't think they should have been at 1 to begin with. I know they just played Clemson, the number 1 team, but I feel like if they play Alabama or LSU or Ohio State or Oregon, based off of that one game we just saw, which you never really want to do that, small sample size, one game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a huge difference in the outcome.
I just got a question. Oh, my bad. I thought you were done for us.
The last thing I would say, I think I'd have Georgia where I would put TCU, Oklahoma, and Tennessee above Georgia, just based off what this is right now.
Yeah, and all the years I've played NCAA, I don't really look at the top 25 rankings too early. So I don't know. I think this is all going to switch very soon. I do have a question though. The FCS games, are those scores somehow calculated into, I don't know, the power of these schools?
I'd say they
top
are
25 rankings,
because if they weren't, Florida definitely wouldn't be here.
Yeah, and Nebraska, right? Was it 77 or something like that? Nebraska put up. What was it? Yeah. So
I got other matchups I forgot to list out that were streamed outside of, of course, the channel on our Extra Games channel. Of course, if Darius or Pecan, anybody's here, got the Extra Games channel link, post that in the chat right now so guys can keep up for the extras. But here goes the game final scores. We had Duke beating FIU 37-7. Georgia Tech beat FCS 61-0. Tulane beat FCS 39-0. Minnesota beat FCS 34-3. Nebraska, who you talked about, beat FCS 73-10. Then we had Wisconsin versus Kennesaw State. Wisconsin won 26-6, which is kind of like, that's not too good. And then we had Rice upsetting Boise State 29-23. I advise anybody who didn't watch any extra games, watch that game. That is crazy how Boise State, they were ranked, I believe, 20th and took that L in the craziest way possible. I think we had probably one of the most legendary defensive touchdowns of all time happen in that game for Rice to help them win it. So tune back into that. Then we had Penn State beating FCS 41-7. Michigan, that was the other team that was close to 80 points put up on an FCS school, 78-0. Utah beating FCS 55-14. I think Utah gave up the most points to an FCS team, but still 55 points is good. And then Notre Dame beating FCS 62-6. So those were the extras.
Oh, we didn't get to say this, but shout out Diamond Armani for coaching Clemson on that win.
Oh yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, Diamonds.
Yeah, he definitely did a great job, man. I feel like that really was a huge factor in why they won the way they did. And if you look at the roster of Georgia, right, they might be 94 across the board, right? But the flaws I saw in them, of course, their running back, they didn't even get a chance really to establish a run game. They had to force a pass. I spoke of this during the game. Jonathan Wilson is really just going to have to invest in upping his player. Getting away with a 78 overall quarterback freshman year is cool, but being in a team that is as talented as Georgia is and the talent that you're going to face this year, you got to be better. You can't be still playing at the freshman level. I feel like that's going to make a huge change for Georgia moving forward. Him boosting his player and taking him out of the 70s altogether, just really boosting those weak spots. The run game, again, even if it's not there, even though they didn't get a chance to really establish it, the back we already had questions about that position coming into the season after we saw the ratings. And then also the receivers, we saw Davion Williams still have a big day. That was more so, of course, when the backups came in. He made some good catches, though, over 130 yards receiving, found the end zone. But and they got some good receivers. But again, that falls on, more so what Wilson is doing. And then also, I didn't like the play call. I forgot to mention this in their matchup. Georgia was just very conservative. I just don't think they were aggressive enough in their attack towards Clemson, and they really got shunned off based off the shots they did try to take where they were getting picked off by Diamond Armani and the
Do you
crew.
think that's more so because of Jonathan Wilson not being able to play a more aggressive style?
I think
Of the
so,
game?
man. I think because he tried to take those shots. Watching that game, he tried to make the big plays, and as soon as he started paying for it with those first two interceptions, you could tell it affected his game. And the pressure that Clemson was sending, he was up there pretty much like Dylan Lewis back in his early days, karate chop throwing passes. Like pressure was coming, he couldn't stay on his feet. He had to keep throwing these acrobatic throws, which that's not always going to work. That led to some interceptions. And another flaw, why I think their defense got carved up a little bit as bad as they did, is their linebacker core is not as strong as the rest of the unit, and so that's an area that I think can get worked with those top end teams, moving forward. So a lot of question marks for Georgia in this season. Hopefully, this is not the beginning of another rough year within the college series for these guys, but yeah, anything else you guys want to say about the top 25 or anything related to that before we move on to the schedule and our predictions? All good? All right.
Yep.
All good. Let's go ahead and move on to the week 8 schedule. This will fill the screen, of course, so you guys can be able to see the rankings. Let me go ahead and put the thumbnail up before doing that and get rid of the RFL Live. And here we go with the schedule. All right. Oh, I'll take the thumbnail off. Never mind. Here we go. Week 2 is officially starting off with number 21 Notre Dame versus number 20 Florida. That's going to be a huge game. Rob will be in the booth calling that one. Let's go, while we're doing this, since there's so many games, let's just give our predictions as we go through them. So we saw Notre Dame lose in their opener, right? And that was against Miami. Granted, Miami, of course, a higher ranked team in that matchup. They performed pretty well. and started out 0-1. They played against FCS last week in the Extras channel, beating them 62-6. And then we had Florida just having their first game and win against FCS as well, winning 56-0. Based off of what you saw in these guys' performances right now, who would you guys have winning? And before you guys comment on that, I actually have the spreads of Notre Dame winning by a touchdown or more over the Gators.
I think I'm gonna go with the Florida Gators to win. Yeah, I'm gonna take the upset in the very first game. I'm gonna go with the Gators. I'm gonna go with Casey Robinson and Manny Rojas to get it done. You know, we saw the big thing that led to Notre Dame's loss in week 0 or the first game of the season. What was the pressure? And Manny Rojas just had 8 sacks. It would be a real shame to not see him have the same kind of pressure against a legit team this time. And I know Casey Robinson is trying to get his name up there with the other quarterbacks. I like to see him, as Hodge would say, prove it. So I'm going to take the Florida Gators.
Rojas, Robinson, Case, what's his name? JoJo, Zach, all those guys, man. I think they're going to get it done at home. So I'm going Gators.
All right. Moving on, we have for the Tuesday live games. First one, right back in the booth with Utah versus LSU. LSU dominated, of course, Miami that we were just talking about, going from number 9 in the country to number 3, and they're going up against Utah, who did pretty all right. Won a bowl game last year. Still got a decent amount of guys that were returning from that team last year, but they're on the road in Death Valley. I've got LSU by more than 10 points.
I'm gonna go LSU with the spread. There's no reason to go against them right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen Utah this series. What is their overall?
I think they're 84.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bet against LSU in this one. I got LSU.
All right, and following that game, we got a rivalry matchup on the former Pac-12 teams. Of course, with that conference now being disbanded, we have Washington unranked versus USC, which we let's look at the top 25. Surprised they still didn't get unranked, and Florida did before them. But I got USC beating Washington by more than 2 touchdowns, 15 plus.
I'm gonna go with USC, but I'm gonna go against the spread.
Let's go, Severio. Let's get another one, man. USC.
All right, and we now we'll save that top right game, of course, for the game of the week, going into the premier game starting out Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. After a tough loss, Georgia is facing an FCS team themselves to try to boost back that confidence after getting embarrassed by Clemson. I've got Georgia winning by 60 or more points.
I got Georgia. You said 60?
Yeah, 60.
I'm gonna go with Georgia, but I don't think it's gonna be 60.
Wait, he's got. Wait, hold on. You got who by 60?
Georgia
by 6-0.
Wait, did you skip the Michigan game?
That's the game of the week. That's the last one we get to.
Oh, so you're going.
Yeah, you see where it says premier games, it says Wednesday. We're going through those, and then on the right side, bottom, it's Thursday.
All right, so you're going Georgia and FCS. And you're saying hello?
Yeah, Georgia and FCS, and got Georgia winning by 60 on.
It's by 60.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you taking that or?
I don't know. By 60?
60.
I don't take the 60.
You've seen a couple teams beat FCS by 60. You think Georgia can do it? You don't think they can?
So I guess what I'm worried about. I guess what I'm worried about is the performance of Georgia, man. Am I crazy to say? Nah, never mind. Let me stop.
Say what you want to say.
Look, Wilson, if y'all lose to this FCS team, oh my goodness, bro.
I think if you would have said 50, I would have went with you. 60 is just pushing.
I don't know about 60, Smitty, man. I think that they're having a lot of trouble with this offense, man. I'm gonna say like 40
on FCS not losing by 60.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the next game, I got Alabama beating FCS by 60 as well.
I'll take that with the spread.
Yeah, that's gonna definitely happen. It's gonna be 100 to
Yeah,
0.
we're fine with that.
All right, and those are the only two FCS games we have premiering or just showing on the channel in general. If you want to see your team play an FCS team again, and you're playing on one of these teams, the rest will be shown potentially on the extra channels. Again, request your game to be recorded if we have the hands to get it done. Our stream team has done a great job knocking out some of those premier games. Shout out to Pecan, shout out to Darius, shout out to even Mix himself out there recording some games. Who knows, we might get some other guys to help out with that as well. But Mississippi State and Tulane going at it. We saw Mississippi State lose by a big margin to UNC. But despite Tulane looking really good, I just don't think they're as talented as a team, just looking at the team. And I've got Mississippi State beating them by 6 or more.
I'm going to take Tulane. If I've gotten to look at Tulane itself. They are an actually 80. I think they're an 81 or 82 overall team. They're actually higher rated than Mississippi State. And also Tulane is one of those teams that randomly have a 90+ quarterback. And they also got Zion Taylor, right? That's the commit that went there.
Yeah, he had over 170 yards receiving in his debut.
So I'm going to take Tulane with the spread. I think the quarterback is going to will them over Mississippi State.
I was watching Tulane's game earlier, and it's the green machine, the green
Green
Wave.
green. Yeah, so I'm sitting there watching it, man, and I'm like, yo, what is this? The celebration? Is this comet cleaner, like a powder they're pouring on each other? And so I started researching that and realized that's the they're doing that as homage to Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? And so he's like breaking the beers over and pouring it on themselves. I was like, that look like comet powder they're putting on top of themselves, man. But no, I'm just gonna go with them because I like the celebration, man. Pretty cool there.
All right. Then we have a good old-fashioned rivalry in the state of Iowa as Iowa State takes on Iowa. In this matchup, I have Iowa with the home field advantage winning by 4 or more points.
I don't really know much about either of these teams yet, so I'm just going to go against you and pick Iowa State for fun.
I'm gonna go Iowa, pay homage to our boy Kurt. Is it Kurt Peterson?
Yeah, Kurt Peterson.
And the halfback Malachi, whatever his name was, I can't remember.
Oh yeah, Cleon Markman.
Yeah, Cleon Markman. Yeah, go Iowa.
All right, a 6 p.m. game. Also, we got Tennessee versus Indiana. So this is our first time being able to see Indiana in some live action. I'm taking Tennessee by 18 or more points on the road.
I think it's Tennessee pretty easily. I don't know if they win by 20 or more, but I think it's pretty easily Tennessee.
Yeah, we're going to go Tennessee.
With the spread of 18?
Yeah, after they get it done.
All right. Then an SEC matchup between Arkansas and Texas A&M. Arkansas was definitely a dark horse last season in terms of like just upsetting and ruining some team seasons. And I got the Razorbacks beating the Aggies in this matchup by 6 or more.
I'll go with that. I'll have Arkansas win.
I'm going to go TAMU, man. TAMU by 10.
All right. Then we have Pittsburgh versus West Virginia. We really didn't get to see, we didn't get to see Pittsburgh at all. We saw West Virginia, and they looked really good just based off the little bit, just looking from the roster. I'm taking Pittsburgh here by 4 or more points.
We just saw West Virginia lay the smackdown. I have no reason to think they're not going to do it again, so I'm going with West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm Team Jamerson. Was it Jamerson Chamberlain? That's his name?
Oh, that's
the UNC guy.
That's UNC. Wait, who's the quarterback? Oh, this is Westerman. Yeah, Matt Westerman. Yeah. Westerman, man, for the W.
All right, then we got UCLA versus Minnesota. I'm taking the Bruins here in this one by more than a touchdown over the Gophers.
I'm going to go with Minnesota. I think they have an underrated offense, so I'm going to go with them.
UCLA.
All right. Now getting into the Thursday premier games, Appalachian State versus Oregon. I don't even think this is going to be close. I'm taking Oregon by more than 30.
See this is on the other end of what you do with Georgia. If you would have told me Oregon by 45, I would have went with Oregon. I think Oregon might win by 50.
Yeah, I got Oregon in a blowout.
All right. Toledo, which were kind of a bit of the unsung heroes of last year, able to upset. Was it Oregon? Yeah, they upset Oregon in the first round of the playoffs last year. But they are taking on the fighting Illinois. Is that how you say it? Illinois. I think that's how you do it. For Illinois. Yeah, Illinois. And I got the Illinois winning by 20 or more points over Toledo.
I think Vince Hammer is about to lay the hammer. I'm gonna take Illinois with the spread.
I agree with Forbes.
All right, then the last 4 p.m. game, Penn State versus FIU. FIU got blown out by Dork. I said Dork. By Duke last week, 37-7. I got Penn State by more than 20 points, 21 or more.
I think Penn State's better than Duke, and if they just got blown out by Duke, I'm gonna have to take Penn State.
Yeah, I'm never going to choose FIU, so Penn State.
All right, Northern Illinois versus Ohio State. I've got Ohio State winning by, as you said, Forbes, 45 or more points.
Yeah, these first 5 games on Thursday are all blow. So I'm gonna take Ohio State over NIU by 45.
Ohio State definitely going to blow those boys out.
Bowling Green versus Nebraska. I've got Nebraska winning over Bowling Green by 40 or more points.
Yeah, I'll take Nebraska. And who's that new user they got? Is it Caden Marino?
Marino.
Yep, Caden
Yeah, Marino.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm
salute to Marino.
take him to win.
Yeah, I don't think Marino's going to let those boys lose to Bowling Green.
Better not, or it's going to be Bell season. But the last 6 p.m. game, Arizona State versus Texas Tech. It didn't get to see Arizona State play in their game against Texas, but fared pretty well based off the talent. Only losing by 15 with that 26-9 score. I got Arizona State over Texas Tech by a touchdown or more.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Arizona State. Get Texas Tech out of the top 25.
Actually, I liked what I saw out of the Red Raiders last week, man. So I'm gonna actually take Tech. I think that they played TCU, man. It was a tough game, but I don't think that. I think that what they looked like in the loss, how good they looked in the loss, I think that's gonna come back. Going to give them some morale going into this one. So I think they're gonna be ASU.
All right, and we got a really good matchup here. Duke versus Georgia Tech. First time we get to really see Georgia Tech in action outside of the Extras channel. But there's been a lot of hype raving around the Duke Devils, Blue Devils, and I got Duke winning by 10 or more points over the Yellow Jackets.
Doesn't Georgia Tech have a user quarterback?
Yeah, they got KJ Smith. Got of course Elijah Carter Jr. They got a linebacker and Josh, I think I forgot his last name, Bartman. Yeah. So yeah, they got a couple guys, even a receiver too. I'm blanking on a receiver right now.
That's great. Oh, but I'm taking Duke by the spread.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. Because I heard that Duke had a pretty. What is the overall for Duke?
89.
89. Yeah. What about Georgia Tech?
80.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I know they got the users and everything, but boy, I'm gonna go against the grain though, man. I'm gonna go against the grain, guys. I'm gonna root for the users this week, man. So Georgia Tech, don't let me down.
And there goes the receiver. Just seen him in the chat. Bub Riggins. There it is. Sorry, guy. We got Florida State versus Louisville in the last 6 p.m. Eastern game. I'm taking Florida State by 4 or more.
I don't think we've seen either one of these teams play yet, right?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go Florida State because I like their colors better.
Yeah, I kind of want to root for Louisville because I like their helmet, that chrome helmet, man. But yes, Jay, I'm gonna go ahead and relax and choose Team ESJ here, man. So we're gonna go FSU.
All right, and now we finally get back up to the top right, the game of the week. Michigan versus Clemson. Um, I got Clemson, obviously. I'm not choosing against them until they lose, to be honest. I got them by 7 or more points, though, over Michigan. I think this Michigan team is actually pretty solid, though, based off of, just looking at the talent. And, what they even did in that FCS game, they almost put up 80-0 like Oregon did. So I don't
Didn't their
think,
running back like 200 yards or something?
yeah, running back went over 200. Like, yeah, they went crazy. So if Clemson shuts these guys out, that's kind of the big question I was going to ask after this. I mean, who do you guys got winning this game? Again, I got Clemson by 7 or more points. And then also, after you say that, do you think there's any team that you've seen so far what team do you think has the highest chance, I'd say, of dethroning Clemson?
I mean, I think I have Clemson winning this pretty easily, but I think if you told me anyone in the top 6 or 5, like I think Alabama or Ohio State or LSU or Oregon all have a fighting chance to beat them. I think right now it would have to be a team like LSU with the 99 defense or Alabama with that high-powered offense, like some like a team that is really elite at something. But I wouldn't be surprised if anyone in that top 5 or 6 range dethrone them.
The only way you stop at Clemson, man, is if you have DBs, and that's the key right there. You got to have DBs. So if you don't have DBs, then you don't beat these guys. So and then from there it goes. Well, you got to score, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and just looking in the chat, Pecan says it has to be a coach team. He wants to play them. So
DBs and being able to score.
yeah. So yep, that is it for the schedule. Our
So I
predictions.
think they're gonna put those claws in these, and
Oh,
it's
you
gonna
was
be
talking the whole time,
Wolverine
bro?
hats oh, I was, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh
So,
Yeah,
snap!
bro.
You was cut off for a minute.
oh, I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Go
crazy.
back.
I
What
don't
you
know what's
saying?
going on with that connection, bro. Like it's weird.
Yeah, it's
I don't
sometimes
know.
it's the computer, but it also seems like it's also a Wi-Fi thing too. But it seems
I'm
like
not
it's
even on the
happening.
Wi-Fi though. I'm hardwired, man.
Yeah, I don't know what's
It's
going on with
crazy.
that because it,
I don't know what's
but
going on
when
with
it
that, man.
comes with that moment, it must be something that's just working with the connection. Because Forbes, when
It's weird.
it skips, he's not skipping in that moment. I do know my PC has
Hmm.
its moments though, so be worried.
Hmm.
And then also I notice it happens when your computer quality goes like kind of grainy. So
Hmm.
just to give some ideas on what potentially could be the case, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Big question. Again, getting asked. I didn't get to hear what you said though, Robbie. You were talking of.
No, is this breaking up?
Yeah, it started breaking up right now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what it is, though. I mean, it's all right.
Why would this do this
So,
right when he's about to talk?
yeah,
Okay, try to talk
yeah,
now, Mix. You should be good.
yeah. I'm not going to podcast anymore, man. I don't like this. It's crazy. Yeah,
Ah, yeah.
weird.
So, what do you guys think in the chat, man? Who has the best chance of stopping Clemson from pulling Ohio State and win 3 consecutive national championships? Let me know in the chat. Um, is there any big questions you guys want to pose to the community based off of what you've seen so far in the college series?
No, I was just saying you don't beat Clemson without defense. You got to have DBs. It doesn't matter. Offensive wise, you got to be able to score. You got to have DBs. If you can do that, then you can beat those guys.
Big question. I guess I can ask you guys. What coach so far in their debuts has impressed you from their game the most?
Or all the coaches again? I know there's only 7.
Yeah, it's CP with Miami, Rodney with Baylor, Coach Armani with the with Clemson. You got Coach Severio with USC. There's three more. Yeah, Pecan with Ohio State. We have Dior Gore with Alabama, and then the seventh. I'm trying to think of.
You fired the Florida guy.
Oh yeah. Never mind. So we got 6 now. Florida no longer without with a coach.
I feel like they've all played FCS schools except for Diamond Armani.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like that's the cop-out answer because he took over the back-to-back national champions.
Well, they all got good teams.
Yeah, like I guess
These guys
Severio would be me. I think he's the one working with the least. But
although Severio's just changed the playbook.
Yeah,
he did.
I just saw Severio change the playbook. Severio, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything, man. You know, I gotta let these guys, figure it out. But I'm worried about that, Severio, changing the playbook because you guys look great, but maybe you're the coach. I'm not, so you probably see something.
Pecan. I know you played at CS school, but like you played Akron. I don't know what you want from me.
He wants you to tell him that Ohio State absolutely destroyed Akron, and he deserves to be the #1 coach of the week.
I think if I had to give just based off of just what you had to play with, you gotta say Clemson. Just based off of the talent that they just faced and what they just did, and based off of what I saw, kind of where these guys were at, and I could tell a little bit went into it that made these guys better than what they would have been if they didn't have a coach. So I had to say my ups this week definitely goes to Coach Armani, and I want to give a shout out to the coaches, some of most I'll say, for their photos, man. Rob, thank you for having a little crash course with them. Some guys still need some help, but most of the photos that I saw were great. And I'm about to do who gave the best photos of the week for the coaches. So and shout them out on who did their thing. Best photos from the coaches, hands down, goes to Severio. And I didn't expect him to pick up the photo game that good, but dude took 100+ photos. They were all pretty much fire, and like, you did your thing. Other guys were in the running, of course, too. Pecan did your thing. Dior, we need a little bit of work, man. A little bit of work. We're gonna get in the lab with you a little bit. But yeah, overall, the photos from guys outside of me and Mix who usually do it, y'all did a great job.
Hey, Severio, so it worked. The little training worked, huh?
Yeah, big time. I advise check out those USC game photos against FCS. Look, he was flicking up. He was in his bag so much he was even shooting some fire flicks for the FCS team. Like, nobody knows these dudes. These dudes aren't drafted. But he was even flicking them up, man.
Okay.
But I guess right now, we're going to leave the floor open to the community to ask questions. So, ask away. I see first says, how many user teams don't have coaches besides us? I mean, that would be the rest of the. Yeah, we only got 6 now, but it's like 140 FBS schools, so that's a lot. We can have up to, I say, 30 coaches in the league because me and Mix have to be in the file. So also Pecan too. So I'd say that now goes down to well, no, not necessarily because he's a coach. So yeah, 30 coaches.
You still have like Hodge who records a bunch of games.
Yeah, but if it gets to a point where we start filling out on coaches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
They'll be want to free those spots up. Yeah, so they should be able to take that. Yeah. CLE Elijah Carter talking about his receiver Bub Riggins having 125 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns in the FCS game. Fire.
Hey, shout out to the stream team too, man. Boy, yeah. I was getting the notifications. Those guys in there working, man. That's good.
It out, man.
I'll tell you. I ain't gonna lie, Speedy. I'm kind of relieved, bro, because we've been doing this for years. You remember just me and you, man. So I salute to y'all guys. I'll help y'all eventually, man. I will. I know it gets hard, so I'll just get in there and be knocking 5, 6, 7 out, when I have downtime. So y'all won't have to do that every single week. But salute to you guys. You guys are doing a great job. And I'm gonna just be honest. I don't. There's a lot of people who try to do what we do, and they're just not good at it, right? But you guys have been very consistent, and I just want you to know from the bottom of my soulless heart, you guys are doing a great job, fantastic job. So
definitely, man. Let's not fumble any more streams, though, guys. I ain't putting nobody on blast.
Yeah, don't fumble the streams.
No
man.
fumbling streams.
Don't fumble the streams.
All right. So make sure when you're streaming, you send it to me first before you wait till after the game to check and see if it was streaming. Send it to me first as soon as you start. All right. That's the big key. Other than that, everyone else did a good job.
Is Rodney getting off with a break?
I would let him slide because he took the L with it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Boy Peacock come in there.
Yeah.
It's tattletelling, man.
Again, you gotta make sure that you show your playbook before every premier game. Show your playbook and show the stats at the end. So yeah, Rodney, you double messed up. I ain't gonna suspend you or nothing, but I'm just gonna give you this last warning so you don't get suspended.
Smitty, these guys are green right now, but it's kind of funny starting to see how competitive they all are. Mm-hmm. Because you know how it is in the RFL in our lounge, right? Yeah. So you know what goes down, right? So it's just kind of funny. Like I saw Pecan come in there. Rodney, you forgot to show your playbook. Yeah. I bust out laughing. I said, "Look at this, man. That's so funny." But no, I'm just waiting to see their personalities, man. Like, how is it really gonna be here? But because right now they're really, really cordial, nice to each other and everything, But I want to see if this is gonna, get feisty.
No, it's a little bit of heat, man, between Baylor and Miami a little bit, man. And Rodney and CP teammates in the RFL with the Steamers was going at it a little bit, friendly jostling or whatever you can call it, man.
Too bad Florida doesn't have a coach, man. That guy was a talker, So no, that would have been nice to have him in the mix, but RIP to that.
Yeah, that was tough, man. That was tough. But, we can't do the stuff early on. We got to make the rash decision to move on, man.
Yeah.
But I do see this expanding, of course, in the future. More guys and stuff. But yeah, I can't wait till guys get to the RFL level though, and we start really filling that spot up, man. It's already pretty solid as it is. See a little bit more trash talking, but again, I was talking with my coaches and I was saying, hey, man, guys was kind of hating on the college a little bit, but then I was just like, hey, y'all could do the same thing that they're doing. There's too many coaches.
No.
Too many coaches that aren't saying.
Well, no, you're right. You're right about that. No, you're right about that. You are right about that. The only for me, it's different because I'm one of those guys who's always in the chat. It's just the allure. Is that the right allure?
Yeah,
allure.
Yeah.
It's the allure of the college that's, in my opinion, man. It's making me. I get part of that, man.
I think he's cutting up again.
Yeah, he's breaking up.
Yeah, no, it's just a little makes you part of the tribute that came out. I'm like maybe hope it's not my Wi-Fi, bro.
Yeah, I think it is because Forbes doesn't interrupt, so it's got to be something with, on that end.
Yeah. All right.
It's all good. We'll catch whenever we catch it. We just let you know.
All right, go get some. I'm gonna get some new wires tomorrow. Maybe it's the wires. They get frayed. Yeah.
Let's see. Our college is king of petty. Yeah, I don't know, dude, because I'll tell you what, man. RFL, there was a point where we had, I think, like close to 20 coaches one time, and it got busy back in that time though. Dudes was talking, had podcasts rolling, everything. You know what I'm saying? And I think it could definitely get to that, but it's just. A lot of guys just aren't as talkative with their trash talk as they used to be. Hey, we let more trash talk now in the Discord, so definitely gonna be interesting to see that come RFL time. We're seeing coaches already take advantage of that at the college level, and again, college is a lot more limited in terms of what you can do at that coach level. You want to experience really full control. That's where the RFL is that difference because you have to run what the actual college teams do in terms of scheme. So if you want to have that freedom, see what you can do with a full team under your belt and things like that, just for anybody in the future looking to go to that next level coach in the RFL, then the RFL is where you want to go. But make sure if you do decide to coach in the college level, that when you coach at the college level, you go to a team that fits a scheme that you would like to run or want to get good at running, and that'll give you some good experience for, the collegiate level. So, let's see, is there any more questions? I think we've pretty much hit everything we needed. Yeah. So yeah, we're pretty much at that 2-hour mark, which is sometimes where we, end things around anyway. And yeah, so that's it for us. It's your boy Smitty, RFL Commissioner, play-by-play commentator, joined along for this podcast with Coach Forbes and Coach Roby. And we will be seeing you guys for the start of week 2. Again, showing you guys the schedule. Week 2 starting Monday. Again, this thumbnail on the way. And this schedule and everything will be posted. Top 25, all that will be posted on social media. But until then, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.